just as the seasons change in nature, the seasons of our life change as well.
Decentralized AI and how that's changing the playing field, though, I will say companies are gonna really have to pay attention to that, and they're gonna have to keep their ears to the street, is what I'm saying. Because if they don't and they decide not to play that game, they're gonna get left in the dust. I'm talking about Martin. I say in the dust. The Apple headset, man, where I can have my whole computer out like
Glasses.
Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's also seasons of doing, but then there's also seasons of waiting. Like, what happens when you're between the promise and the problem? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ooh, my voice. I'm waking up
still
this
getting back
morning.
into it, man.
Man, this when seasons change, I tell you, the weather changes, so does my sometimes, everybody gets a little something something, and we got it. My whole family got it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh
No,
man.
what? But it's good to have you back, though, man. It's just good to have you back, right?
It's good to be
Last week,
back.
last week you were out of there. You out of commission, no voice. Now you got, you got some voice in there.
Yeah. I got something. I definitely got something that I can rock with and work. So for that I am grateful. I'm grateful. Oh man, good morning, family. Sorry for no music in the beginning. Got a little technical difficulties, but thank you guys for always rocking with us. Good morning, Mitch. We appreciate you. Peace and blessings as well. Now this will
Good
be a fun
morning.
show. This will be a fun show in spite of the technical difficulties. You know why I'm going to enjoy the show? I'm going to join the show
Let me know.
because we're going to spend more time letting you guys come on and talk with us. And we have a great subject that I think will be fitting for everybody. But we got to talk about, man, we got to talk about what's on your head. Good morning,
Yes,
Dontel. Good
sir.
morning, brother.
Look at that, y'all. Look, y'all already know I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I'm in DFW, and last week, man, we had a huge deal for us. The Rangers, the Texas Rangers baseball team, won our first World Series championship, and so yeah, I mean, don't be surprised. You might see this hat in the next, I don't know, 3, 4 videos. I have no clue if you're watching. If you're just listening, then you'll just have to hear about it. Maybe not. But yeah, so man, we've been excited about that. I did not go to the parade though. I will say, I had a cousin of mine. She went and I saw the videos and stuff. Man, they looked like sardines. It was so many people. They looked like sardines packed in there, man. I couldn't do it. But I was still enjoying it from my home, and I was good, man. I was good. I'm happy. So yes, you see the hat. It's on, and it will be on for a little bit.
No, that's great, man. That's great. Happy for you and your team, and excited that you're able to, celebrate and revel in their
I know,
victory
right?
right now.
Like I said, it's the first one, man. They never won. It came close. My graduation year, got all the way there, but then lost. And so, yeah, this is pretty big. It's pretty big.
No, that's great, man. That's great. Well, like always, housekeeping rules do apply. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already to the channel. Share this with somebody else. Share this with somebody. Looking like sardines. All right, that's
I'm
hilarious,
for real,
man.
Evan. I'm for real,
And
man. It was just a bunch of red, yellow, red, and blue sardines, man.
and Scott says, "Congratulations, bro! Congratulations to you and the Texas Rangers." No, absolutely. So, if you guys are wherever you may be, whether you're driving to work, whatever the case may be, or if you are just getting ready, this is why we're here. We're here to help you get ready in the morning as you're going on your day and thinking about a couple of different things. And one of the things, again, in housekeeping wise, I just wanted to make sure that you are aware that you could go ahead and call into the show. In fact, if you are on YouTube, you could go ahead and click the link. It should be pinned right there in the chat section, and we'll have you come on and share your thoughts about the subject that we're talking about today. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was something that you said earlier before we started the show, Trey, was that extra hour of sleep. Ooh, daylight savings time. How did that feel?
Man, oh, bro, I felt good. Felt amazing getting that extra hour. I will say I didn't even realize that it was daylight savings time yesterday, though. It wasn't until my wife said something, I'm like, "Oh, snap. Is that why it feels like I've overslept, but really I'm waking up on time?" I had no clue, because I didn't actually even set an alarm, so that might have been the reason. Maybe I would have no,
Wow.
because my phone it still would have went off. So I don't know, man. I just didn't know, but I'm happy about it. I got that extra hour, and I'm using it well. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The hour, of course, is always great, but for some reason this time around, I don't feel like I feel affected by it like I normally would. I feel like I'm still tired.
Oh
Man,
man.
I feel like I'm still tired. Oh man, let me look at the conversation real quickly. Evan says, "I wanted to say thank you, as tips from both of you have helped me break into tech at a major company. So thank you. That is awesome to hear,
Oh
Evan.
man, that's
Thank you
that's
so
great to
much.
hear, and
Thank
we
you so much.
appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah, that's what we do this for. So I'm glad you said that. If that wasn't happening, then what's the point? What's the
Exactly.
point? And we got a lot more to share as we go, man. But speaking of daylight savings, and that change that happens, that's like a signifier for me that we in fall, y'all. November is here, the holidays are here, daylight saving time is here, winter is coming, if you know that reference, right?
Man.
But just like yeah, but just like the changes, just like the seasons change in nature, the seasons of our life change as well. And I want to just kind of talk about that a little bit today, as we talk about seasons changing. And before we do that, again, congratulations from Brother Trey there. But before we do that, I have a question for y'all. And go ahead and put this in the chat. What is your favorite season? What is your favorite time of year? I got a radio voice this morning. I like it. It's kind of like, hello. What is your favorite time of season?
Oh,
Macy's
not
Monday.
that
So,
one. Not that one.
what is your favorite season? Trey, do you have one? I think I do, but I want to hear yours first.
It's crazy. I just man, bro, um I like spring, just temperature wise here in Texas or whatever, But then
Yeah.
I like wintertime as well because I like to be able to put on the layers in
Mm,
clothing wise, right? Just
yeah.
layering up.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, bro. I Because with that, even though I like to get out in the layers, I also don't like to be out in the cold. Uh,
Yeah.
it's difficult for me, bro. I'm gonna go with spring. I'm gonna go with spring. I like spring.
Nice, nice. Well, to be honest with you, I was gonna say that as well. Like spring is like one of those times that really feel like, okay, it's not too hot, it's not too
Yeah,
cold, it's just right. But the allergies, man. Like I'm not I when I was younger, I never suffered with allergies, bro. It wasn't until I got older that allergies became a thing. And
I
I was
see.
like, man, what is going on here? This is not
So
how life is supposed to be.
you know what? So maybe that's why then, because I don't have allergies, so I don't experience a lot of the things that people have going on. I don't experience it, so maybe that's why I
Yeah.
like it. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I was with you. Spring was gonna be my answer, but I realized, man, even though it's hot, summer is mine. Summer is mine. It just it's not just the fact that summer is hot, right? It's the fact what summer meant for me, nostalgic wise, growing up.
Yeah,
You're off away from a school. You might go on a family trip here and there. You might do some things. You might hang out with some of your cousins and play around and do different things, or hang with your friends. So summer always
that's
felt like
facts.
had this nostalgic kind of feeling to me, and I guess that's the reason why. That's the reason why. But I got some comments in here, man. I got some comments. I got a Darcel says winter hands down. Darcel, I don't know what to say about that, brother.
I
I
just
don't
don't
like to
like the
shovel
cold.
snow. Yeah,
See, we don't have to shovel snow, so I don't know about that struggle. But I do
mhm.
know, sometimes when it's cold, you don't want to move.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. At least it depends on where you live in the winter. But for me in the Northeast here, yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, maybe one time because we had a blizzard in New York back in the day, I was like, "Oh, this is
Mm,
cool." But besides that, I'm like, nah, I'm not. growing up now I have to shovel the snow. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. But I
It's
ain't
on
heard
you.
each his own, Darcel. Each his own. So the fact that you love it, that's great. In fact, let us know why you like winter in the comment section. I'm curious, Darcel. And brother, is a fall winter time because of the way my wardrobe is set up. My swag is killer for that time. Hey man, I'm not gonna. That's a good point. That's something what you said, Trey.
Yeah, yeah, bro. When you can, you can put the layers together. It's always funny. It starts to get cold when anytime you start seeing black guys, they instantly put on the turtlenecks with the Chelsea boots. It's like, all right, y'all. It's barely fall, so hold your horses.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
For those that are layer people, this is a great time of year. When the ladies bring the
Hmm.
Uggs out, it's it's this time of year, man. It's that time of year for the layers, right? Oh man. And so with that being said, I'm thinking about pretty much, as we talk this question, what is your favorite season? That in life, like we said, like I mentioned earlier, in life we have different seasons, and the same thing is true for companies and specifically tech companies, right? There's an article that I saw when we were talking about this particular topic. It was basically an article that came out earlier January, I would say January 6th of this year from Harvard Business. And they were talking about like what is tech going to be like going into 2023. And I think it was fitting because now we could look back and say, hey, how many of these different things that this article pointed out is actually happening? So I'm not going to go through the entire article, but there are like
Hmm.
about a couple of different points that I wanted to kind of pull out from it. And one was it said look for the combinatorial trends. And I was like, combinatorial trends, what does that mean? Like consider how different technologies can create possibilities when used together. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So, like for example, when we talk about um, the different types of, and I'm not going to take too long on this, but if you talk about the technologies that we have seen been working together, what are some of those examples that we have seen? I mean, go ahead and put in the chat. I want to definitely hear from you. Trey, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, but like, what are some of the things that we have seen already
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about from the article or just in general? We've definitely seen people
in
use
general?
their yeah. I mean, in general, bro, they're using what they do in real life. They're mixing
Yeah.
it with all these like AI components, man, and it's just supercharged. We've seen that supercharging things. Right now, like for example, I mean, they just got canceled, but for a little bit, we even saw uh driverless vehicles, right? Like they're literally they made these vehicles. I think they were using them in San Francisco. San Francisco, they had these driverless vehicles, so they're going around, bro. That was super new to us. Things that we knew was coming, but it actually happened. Now, unfortunately, they had so many accidents that they
Mm,
just canceled it, right? They say, hey, San Francisco, we're done as a city, like we're done, but great
wow.
try. So, anyways, I mean, obviously, over time, things will happen like that, right? Hey, we're gonna try it. It messes up. We're gonna go back to the drawing board, and then we're gonna get it right. But nonetheless, man, we're seeing a lot of different things merge in the tech space. So it's really crazy and interesting at the same time.
Yeah, it really is. I gotta take a pause. I realize people are taking the time texting. I'm gonna go back to that what we talked about earlier. First
Hmm.
of all, what up, Grape Sodar? Good morning. Good morning.
Hey,
And we're
good
talking
people,
about.
good people.
I feel like we went too fast on that wardrobe part, or at least I did, because people are now chiming in about that. I said, bro, I had a chocolate sweater, dark denim, and chocolate Chelsea boots on for church yesterday. Oh man,
Hey,
you
I,
were
I
you were
told you,
reading his
I
mind.
told you, bro. I told you. I know this, man.
He's like, how did you know?
Hey, but that sound like a fire fit, though. It sound like a fire fit.
Oh man, and Darcel
Yeah.
came back. He said, "I like Christmas, miss Detroit winter. The snow was fun.
Mm,
I like to snowboard, hot chocolate. Too many reasons, but winter and snow is nostalgia for me." That is true. If you think about
yeah.
it, especially if you celebrate Christmas, like growing up, you know the presents or
Oh,
Thanksgiving was
bro.
coming. So
You
like,
just
and
looking at them.
technically Thanksgiving is in the fall, but like he said, fall, winter, that kind of time of year. That was his thing. So that makes sense. Good morning, Miss Buck. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good
Good
morning,
to
Miss
see you.
Buck.
All right. So I want to always make sure I get the comment section up to date there, and then before we jump back into it. But that was a good point. There, driving cars, I forgot about that. That it was like there's so many accidents and issues with that situation.
Yeah, bro, they just shut it down. They shut it down. But I mean, obviously it will come back. They'll get it right. They'll get it
Mm,
right.
I agree. I agree. And then another point from that article was free engineers from bureaucratic work. Tech leaders should focus on reducing administrative and manual tasks for engineers to boost productivity. And we're kind of seeing that a little bit where it's like, listen, let y'all do what y'all need to do, and and
However you
and
can.
try and not get the politics in the way.
Yeah. We'll see what happens after y'all do your thing. And that's cool. More freedom to the workers, allowing them to express how they want to express. And then, sometimes you never know what you'll find after that. Like, oh snap. As the head person, you would have never thought to do it that way. But as somebody on the ground, in the, head in the dirt, getting it done, it's like, oh, yeah, this works. Now
Yeah.
just don't steal the idea. Be like flaming hot Cheetos, and give the man his props, and you know, put him on.
Did you see the movie? The
I
Flaming
haven't
Hot
seen it
Cheetos?
yet, bro, but it's definitely on my, like, I gotta see it because that's
Yeah.
for one, I love documentaries too. I love real things, that especially if I know like about it. I'm like, oh, I gotta see that. I gotta see the real stuff. So
Yeah, biopic.
I gotta
Yeah, it
see
was
it.
good.
Yeah,
It was good. It was good. Yeah,
good deal.
I like how they put it together.
Yeah.
It's Disney, so it's going to be a certain way. But yeah, overall was good. Let me go to this last point here, and I want to get your thoughts from people in the audience as well. In fact, while I'm doing that, I'm going to put in the chat the link to the article if you want to check that out. So if you're on YouTube, go ahead and you'll see that link there. You can always click on it and check it out. But the last point that they made, among other points that I wanted to highlight, was the centralized AI is changing the playing field. And basically, what that is, they were saying that companies should explore decentralized AI capabilities and incorporate them into their technology stack to drive innovation and competitiveness. And this was January of this year. So what have we
That's
seen
crazy.
in
That's crazy.
2023?
But they was in their bag, like, oh, we know what's going on. We know what's about to happen. They said it, bro. That's
They
in
told no lies.
every space right now.
every space, every space, man. So with that being said, I wanted to just ask a question for everybody here, pretty much. What are some emerging, and I'm gonna put it like this, so like what are some emerging trends that you are seeing, in technology that you think will be big, not just in this year, but really for next year? Because we're 2023 is done, right? And now we're moving into 2024. So what are some emerging trends in technology that you think will be big in 2024? Listen, y'all might know some stuff we don't know. So we want to make sure that we
Exactly.
are definitely on game to hear what you have to say. If you want to call into the show, especially if you're on YouTube, the link is right there. Go ahead and call into the show. We definitely want to hear what you have to say about this particular topic. And while they're writing their responses or looking to click on that link to call in, did you have any thoughts on that, Trey, about what are some things you might see in the future?
Um, not necessarily in the future. I don't know. I always, like, I look forward to the things that I see that they're talking about that's gonna be in the future. I don't know about anything that I might just like, oh yeah, I think we're gonna see blank and blank. I don't know. But like things like the Apple headset, man, where I can have my whole computer out like
Glasses.
Tony Stark, you know what I'm saying? Like Tony Stark, I can do that. That's coming up. That's crazy to me. That's just stuff that you just don't think uh is gonna happen or is capable of doing, or you know, being able to record something and then relive the moment like you're there again. That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to see what that's about. And then as far as like decentralized AI, and how that's changing the playing field, though, I will say Like companies are gonna really have to pay attention to that, and really
Mm,
stay on the leading edge. Like they're gonna have to keep their ears to the street, is what I'm saying. Because
yeah.
if they don't, and they decide not to play that game, they're gonna get left in the dust. I'm talking about Martin. Y'all remember Martin? I said in the dust. They're gonna get left in the dust. Because it's one of those things, bro. Like these other companies, they're gonna be using the stuff. So it's like, hey, you better figure out a way how to use it, use this AI and all these capabilities to be able to have your brand or whatever you do and supercharge that, or else you're gonna be out of commission, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think personally, there's one thing that I saw on LinkedIn a while ago that got me thinking, and that was when I saw AI set an appointment with a Tesla company, a Tesla customer,
Yo,
potential customer. I think it was very unique in the sense that you kind of could tell it was robotic, but it was also witty. It was also,
yeah,
humorous. It was also attentive. It asked good discovery questions, and obviously that's gonna take some time to really kind of roll out. But how are
maybe not
companies
as
gonna
much as
look
we
at?
think.
Not as much we think. I'm thinking maybe 5 years. Maybe a
Really,
little bit less because AI is fast. AI catches up.
it
That's
is.
one thing. Even ChatGPT, like I remember there's prompts that I put in years ago. Oh, not years ago, but months ago. That and now I'm like, oh, it's giving me a lot more, and it's a
Yeah,
little bit
man.
it's a little bit more attentive to what I'm desiring or need, and so with that being said, thinking about how the fact that now companies can leverage AI to do a role that we would do as an SDR or BDR, it kind of makes me realize, like, you know what? I need to find a way to get in as an SDR, BDR, which I am already, senior SDR. But I need to also kind of about different other avenues because if AI catches up, I'm gonna be looking. If I was working in the office, I'm gonna look to my right and see an AI bot just look at me like,
Oh
"Hi,
man.
Joe."
Hey, you
You
know
know,
how crazy that'd be for you to
that would
come in
be,
one day and it's a whole computer it's just set up right there. I'm talking about chair and all. Just it's a whole
yeah.
setup, and that's your next door neighbor, and you saying what's up, and it's saying what's up back.
Hey, you're just like, I don't know how I feel about
Like
this.
yo, they saying, hey man, you late today? I've been here. You
I
just getting it's talking noise and everything.
24/7. I'm in here. I'm like, "What's up, Bard?"
Tell-
And
Hey
he's
Joseph, telling you every time it close a deal. Hey, just close another one, Joseph.
yeah, it's like keep
What
up,
you
keep
on
up.
today? What you on today?
Keep up. I mean, I'm trying to think how the AI would even sound. Like if
It's gonna sound regular, bro. It probably will
it
sound like man. You know what's cold blooded? If it was my company, I would make it sound just like you. Who,
ah
whoever they're sitting by, I'm making it sound just like you.
yeah, or your top rep be like, reflect that voice because something that they
Yeah,
probably
that
have in their
too.
tone or
That too.
whatever. Like the way this could roll out, I'm telling y'all, this is
I
something that. Hmm.
I don't
Go ahead,
know. I
brother.
don't know. We like we're talking right and having fun
Yeah.
about it, but ultimately that you still need some kind of human component there,
Oh yeah.
as you go up the levels, right? So that's why what you
Yes.
said earlier was important, right? Like, hey, figure out a way how to get in now so that you can get
Yes.
the skills, get the experience to move up. Because I will say this, yeah, maybe entry level they can get that down, and hey, that's cool setting the meeting. But
Yeah.
when you're talking about business to business sales, bruh,
You need the
if I'm a
human
business owner, I
interaction in
need to
there.
I need to talk to a human being if I'm about to, because in business to business, you're spending big money, like
Yeah.
large amounts. I'm not giving your
Absolutely.
company $12 million and I'm not talking to somebody or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
I need to talk to someone. So yeah,
Yeah.
get in, get the experience, get the education, and elevate up, and that way you're good to go. Now you're a part of the team that helps train the AI. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just different. So we
Yeah.
joke, we have fun, but ultimately, listen, these businesses, they want to talk to somebody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's exactly the point I was going to make was you want to get in now. because
Mm-hmm.
technology is coming. Technology is here, but it's
Yeah, it's
advancing
definitely here.
faster than we may realize. So you get it now, like you said, get the experience, advance, and find those areas where human interaction is definitely is definitely needed. Like account executives, those are people that need to kind of negotiate those deals. I mean, setting up appointments, yes, they might use technology to do that, but in regards to those things that need a human touch, yeah, it's gonna be even more valuable. And again, kind of like the story, I'm gonna kind of say this and then we're gonna move on to this comment section because I want to see what people's thoughts are on this subject. With what in regards to the emerging trends in technology, things that they've seen, and we can definitely talk about it. But also, like for example, there's a story, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember all the details, but simply it was like an old man that was bringing in machines and stuff like that, and people were concerned, and that man decided to learn and become like an engineer in that moment and figure out how to basically kind of you know fix these machines and things like that, and he became the person that maintained these machines afterwards versus losing his job. So that's he got raised in his paycheck, right? Don't know
That's
the
what I'm
full
saying.
story, don't at me about it. I just I just remember that somebody saying that and as an example of what you can do in this day and age. So so the question is for everybody, what are some emerging trends in technology that you think will be big in 2024 and beyond? It doesn't even have to be next year. And I got a comment here from Scott. He's talking about what is a leaderboard? Ain't nobody catching me. President's Club for life.
President's Club for life.
He's like, I'm working on that. So yeah, no, I mean, I think the
Yeah, y'all
mindset
catch
is
me.
right. That is the right mindset though to have, though. I'm not gonna lie. That is the right mindset to have.
Yes,
Oh
indeed.
man. So while you guys are putting in your responses to that, I did also want to bring up something because Trey and I talk and we got this segment called Bag Talk, and in this particular segment is when Trey comes out, he takes out his bag and he starts talking. and, and I'm not gonna steal your thunder, brother. I'm gonna let you talk about it because I think you had some good things to say.
You crazy, man. I appreciate it. Y'all, so it's crazy. So Joseph, he was like, yo, the seasons change. We want to talk about the seasons. And I was like, yo, I know I wrote something about that. And so I went and found one of my old notebooks, right? And sure enough, while we were on the phone, I found a page where it was some notes on the seasons. And basically what the notes is, it was I'm going to talk about 4 major lessons in life to learn when it comes to seasons. And what it was talking about is that life and business are like the changing seasons. So just like in life and in nature we have seasons that change, life is the same way, right? Like you go through different seasons in life. And so the main thing was, though, you can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. So, we have all these things that happen to us, but really it's how do we help build ourselves and grow ourselves in order to deal with the seasons, right? That's like, hey, your first winter, maybe you don't have a big enough jacket because you moved to New Jersey and you don't know about New Jersey's winter, right?
Oh
But that
boy,
next, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm from Texas, so I might
I
not know
know.
all the way fully. But then that next winter time, guess what? I got the big goose, right? Yeah. I got the feathers in that joint.
Yeah,
And
you're
now
ready.
and now I'm ready, man, because I couldn't change the season, but I could change how I not reacted but responded to the season. So, number 1, it says learn how to handle the winters, right? And obviously we know winters, those are those dark moments, those things like that. And it said night always follows days. So it's gonna always happen. And then it says anytime that you have an opportunity, there's gonna be some difficulty, even if it means just learning the new thing, right? So, you might get an opportunity to break into the tech industry. Well, there's gonna be some difficulty there because now you gotta learn something new. That's the winter, right? But that might not be a long winter for you. You might be able to go ahead and learn that. There's difficulty there, but boom, you're good to go. Number 2, the second point was you got to take advantage of the springs, right? And springs in this is opportunities. Now, when it comes to opportunities, y'all, we got to do something with them and we got to do it quickly. because you only get a few opportunities in life. You know, we don't we think like, oh, another one will come around, but just think about, like, think back in your life, think back and think about all the times where you're like, oh man, I could, if I would have did that, then this would have happened. It's not that many of them. So we gotta recognize opportunities. We gotta take advantage of them,
Mm,
and that's the spring. Number three, you gotta protect the harvest all summer. Y'all know summers most of the time it gets hot. So what you got, it can eat your crops up. It can, you can, you mess around and you're like, oh man, you've been wiped out by the sun, right? So when it comes to the summer, it says you got to stop the thief from taking the plants. It's gonna happen. It's
mm,
gonna it's gonna try and take the plants, but you got to stop it, right? You got to protect the harvest all summer. And then number four, you got to learn how to reap in the fall without complaint. Now, this one might ruffle some feathers, but in the fall we got to reap what what all did we protect all summer. Now we got to reap it in the fall. The thing about that is you got to accept full
mm,
responsibility for what you reap. So if it's not exactly, if you're not reaping exactly what you thought you were going to, or what you wanted to, you got to take responsibility for that. Maybe that means like, hey, I need to get some education. I need to switch careers, right? Like, I'm in this industry, it's not giving me what I thought it was supposed to be. It's giving, it's giving whack. And you saying, hey, I need to move around. I need to get into this tech industry because I'm seeing it work for others. I need to see it work for me, right? It's a song, but I'm not going to sing it. But you got to learn how to accept full responsibility. And then here's what we do, y'all. We reap without apology if we do well. We reap without apology if we do well. Sometimes there was this show that LeBron came out with. It was called Survivor's Remorse. And basically what that was talking about is like, yo, you grow up with all these people, right? And you're the one who makes it out. Now, you feel bad and you have this remorse for doing that. And so you go back, or you're doing all these things for them, right? You're buying all the stuff, you're helping where you can, when you can, every time. Now help becomes a crutch because now you're not helping them anymore. It's just giving, it's just doing. And so you have that feeling like you have to give all your stuff away because the homies didn't get it. You can't have the survivor's remorse. You got to reap without apology. And then the thing is, because what they don't realize is that you did put in the work too. Like, while they were sleeping, you were up on the computer getting those reps in, right? You were putting in the time to make those changes in your life, and they didn't. So you gotta reap without apology. And that was the 4 seasons just put into some life lessons as well. Going into this new season, y'all, and the new year, let's start with the small ones, right? So we have those big things, those big goals and stuff, but a lot of times, let's be honest, we ain't doing those if we don't do the small stuff first, right? So some small ones. You got waking up earlier. If that's a thing for you, start small. Waking up earlier. Spending habits. If that's a thing for you, work on those. Get those right. Exercise, if that's a thing for you, right? So those are all small things that we can start with so that we can help change ourselves in the seasons. Because remember, you can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. And that was some bag talk for you right there.
All right, the offering is passing around right now, so please like, comment, and
Ah,
subscribe. No, no, that was some great points, man. Like literally, as you're talking, and I'm giving people a chance to put either their comments below or click on the link to join the show. But as you're talking, I'm thinking about the ant, right? You know,
mm-hmm.
a diligent insect that is kind of annoying depending on where you live. Like they get in your
Ah,
house, like spray, 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 clean, 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 whatever. But they're on mission, and their mission is literally, I'm getting in here to get what I need to do to store it up for the winter. Right now,
yep.
it's a summer, spring. Who remembers that movie Bugs Life with the
Yo,
ants that
yo, we just
they
turned that
go
on the other
harvest?
day.
Oh man, if you remember
We
that,
didn't
put
get
it in
to
the
finish
comment
it. We
section.
didn't get to finish it, but we just turned it on the other day, and it was funny to see them. They were stacking up for the grasshoppers, bro.
uh, and they had their own, and they were stacking up with the grasshoppers, which was
Yeah,
absolutely
man.
insane. And then
Insane.
it's insane if you think about it. Like, oh man, I ain't gonna stack with somebody else. But in that story, you could see very clearly how diligent they were about their job. I mean, and yes, it was a cartoon, but if we were to have a picnic and have some food out, and we watch these ants kind of move together in an army moving in
They coming.
sequence, they get what they need to get, they bring it back, and they store it. And but that mindset is definitely one that we need to have when seasons do change. Are we prepared for the next season of our lives? Like, how do we prepare for that? For some people, it's like I need to prepare for my retirement. For some people, they need like I need to prepare for my children's education. I want them to do certain things. For other people, maybe preparing to actually purchase a new home. What are you doing right now to prepare you for your new season? And as we're talking to ourselves. Like, what are we doing right now to prepare for our new season, to make sure our children are safe, or whatever the case may be? Or let's say you're on the fringe and you're trying to figure out where should I be in tech? Like, what are you doing right now to prepare yourself for that? And how are you making sure that you're actually meeting your goals and your deadlines, and you're not, and you're really kind of making those necessary changes to get to where you need to go,
Yeah.
you know?
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Say that
You
one more
got to
time for
prepare.
Mac.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. We
Mm,
got to do it.
mm. That's right. That's right. So the comment sections are open, y'all, and definitely feel like you can feel free to call on that link there. But I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to ask you, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because as we prepare for the seasons, I'm thinking about the seasons of having children, having young children, versus the season of having a teenager when they can move and do their own thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's totally different. It's totally different. When they're young, they need you. You got to be
Yeah.
hands on with them. But when they're older, then they don't need you as much, and you're kind of like, oh, but I thought you needed me still. Oh no, oh, but I'm still here. Yeah, so seasons change. The deuces. So again,
Yeah. On.
put your go ahead.
Oh no, that was it.
No, I was like, go ahead, put your thoughts in the comments, right? Is that right? Put your thoughts in the comments. We want to
It
hear
can
from
work.
you. We actually cut a lot of what we would normally say out so that we can make space for you to call in and share your thoughts. And, oh, good morning, good morning. Appreciate you stopping by, Mr. Stewart.
Yes,
Good
indeed.
morning. Good morning. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything to what you said, as well as people are putting their writing their comments out. Some people may be writing, as I like to say, their life story.
Huh.
So,
I mean, nah, man. It's just one of those things where a lot of times, sometimes we think that, like, like we said, we're going into, what is this? Is this fall going into winter? Is that how it is? I actually don't even know. This is
mm,
fall.
this is fall.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is fall going
Yeah.
into
So,
winter. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of times we can go into the fall and not think twice about it, right? Like, not think on that side of it. We're just going through life, but I think that's why it was put in that way, right? If you think like, hey, fall is where you reap, yeah, and so now you're looking back over that year, and you're like, okay, did I reap what I was supposed to reap? Right?
Mm,
Like, yo,
yeah.
I know I did put in this work. I know I did that. Did I actually get that full return back? If I didn't, is there something that I could have done? Like, hey, am I working in a place that is not, regardless of the diligent work that I do, I'm not going to reap what I'm supposed to reap? How
Mm,
can I change that? Right? So it's just one of those things, being able to take those checkpoints and really look at it for what it is. Like, yo, is this spring? Is this an
yeah.
opportunity right now for me? Am I
Yeah.
taking full advantage of it?
Mm,
If
yeah.
not, I need to move around, because why? I'm thinking, oh, there's only a few springs. You don't get a you don't get a boatload of opportunities in life.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we got to take advantage of those. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And I see a
and you
comment
just go on
here
forever.
too.
Yeah.
From 5:18 creators said, God will never give you anything that you're not prepared for.
Mm.
And it makes me think about and it makes me think about just my transition from being a SDR to senior SDR. One of the things that I did off the bat, off the rip, was I said, "Hey, to my manager, I was like, I really do want to progress and become an account executive. What are the steps?" And she talked about, well, even before that, there's other things that you can do. You could become a senior SDR. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she explained that in order to do that, there are certain things you got to prepare to be that. You had to have at least 80% of your quota. You had to have that for 9 months, be in good standing, and then you could be in consideration for it. So what I did was I said, okay, that's my goal, and so I exceeded that for 9 months. And when the time came, there was a moment where it's like, is this going to happen or not? But based off of what
Mm-hmm.
was said, already laid out, I already had a plan. So by me already having a plan, all I had to do was prepare with that plan in mind to get to that next level. And then from there, things will happen when they happen.
Everything is great. Yeah.
But that outline was there already for me. So I knew, okay, this is what I need to do to get where I want to go. And that's another thing too, is like, what are the criteria that you need to do to get to where you want to go? Like you laid it out before, like you need to work out, whatever you need to do. What is that criteria to get you to the place that you need to be? And again, this is something that we could all work and talk about, in
And that's
different
for sure.
areas, So yeah, go
He
ahead
said,
and go ahead, brother.
I was sitting there. I mean, I was sitting there thinking about that statement that 518 said. He said, God will never give you anything that you're not prepared for.
Hmm.
I don't know. It was just interesting. I was like, maybe because there is a scripture that says he won't. Well, I don't know if that's actually scripture or if that's just people talking,
You'll
but it
give you more than you can
says
bear.
right. So now, when you think about that, it's like you might not be prepared for it at the time, but it's not more than you can take on. And with
Mm,
the proper work and diligence and pushing forward, you'll get through it. Um, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm
yeah.
gonna have to think on that. I might have to think on that.
And let me even throw something else out there. There's also seasons of doing, but then there's also seasons of waiting. Like
No, that's facts.
what happens when you're between the promise and the problem? What
You
happens
gotta,
when you
yo.
between the test and the testimony, right? Like what are you doing in that season of waiting?
Those are personally, I think those would be considered the winters. But
Yes.
that's that dark time. That's that cold time, right? But
Yeah.
that's where you gotta keep that in your mind. We have to remember, yo, even though it might be a long winter, and you like,
Yeah.
golly, bro,
Too
when
long.
is it gonna stop? It might be a long winter, but ultimately, that season is gonna change. Like
Mm,
it has to.
yeah.
Nights follow days.
Mm,
It has to change. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, and then over time, what you think about is like, oh, the more of those that you experience,
yeah.
normally, if you're paying attention and if we're working towards it, normally the more of those that we experience, the better we'll get at over time. And now, guess what? Those winters, they start shortening. So it's like, oh, this is a winter time. But because of all the compound things that I've learned over the years, it's a short winter this time because why? I know how to handle it this time.
Yeah.
Last time it took me out. Last time I was down for the
Unprepared.
count. Exactly, man. I'm prepared. I'm prepared. So that's one of those things. But if we're just going through life and we're not really paying attention and we're not, really being focused on what's happening to us, right? Is it happening to us or is it happening for us? Or we're not paying attention, then it can take us out again and again and again. And you look up and you went through the same thing like 15 years in a row, and it's the same result. So it's one of those things.
While you were talking, I looked it up real quickly. I was like, I think I knew the answer, but I just looked it
Mm-hmm.
up real quickly, just double check. They said, "What is the shortest season?" And it said winter, which is the shortest season.
Interesting.
But because of the harshness of it, it could
It seemed
feel
like, whoa,
it could feel like one of the longest periods of time. And
yo,
I'm
how
and I'm,
deep is
I'm
that?
yeah, and the thing about it is that the reason why I'm thinking about that, like, some people they probably had their summer, spring in 2020 in the midst of pandemic, financially speaking, with all the influx of money from the government and different opportunities here. But some people might have had that might have been their winter, right? But now that they're out of that season, it's a little bit better for them versus some people that maybe in that particular season a lot happened that was good, but now they're in their winter because of the market, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so everybody's experiencing different seasons within seasons. We're all technically in the season of fall, but in somebody's mind, heart, whatever they're going through, they could be they could probably be in their summertime. And this is the best thing for them. They probably engaged, married, whatever the case may be, versus somebody who's like,
yeah,
man, I've been single for so long. I'm tired of waiting. They feel like their winter is a long time, but this too
yeah.
shall pass. It lasts 89 days according to my quick search on Google here, versus the other seasons that are a bit longer, whatever the case may be.
Isn't that crazy, bro? But because of the harshness, it can seem so much longer.
Yeah,
That's wild.
man.
That's
So
wild.
go so go ahead. Let's know your thoughts in the comment section as well. If you have any thoughts about it, feel free to leave a comment even after the show is done. If you're watching this on the replay, we see you. So thank you for supporting the show. And we have something that while you guys are commenting, I'm going to go ahead and go to this because we could talk about it. It's our brown box special. If you know, you know. The brown box special is where we share stories of people that have been terminated, let go of their job, right? And just the unique circumstances of that. And this one's funny. All right, so let's talk about it. My and this is actually from BuzzFeed as well. So thank you, BuzzFeed, for these stories. I'm just going to read this one real quickly. It said, my brother's friend got a job at a car dealership in our town. Within a couple of days of working there, he somehow was allowed to test drive one of the brand new models. My brother and I lived a few miles out of town on 40 acres of land. His
Mm,
friend drove that brand new car out to our property to test drive the four-wheel drive. That doesn't sound good already.
mistake
Well,
number one.
mistake number one, right? Taking a company car to test drive it. All right, that was the first thing, right? Now talking about seasons. Well, it being a wet Pacific Northwest winter that year, he swiftly managed to get the car stuck in almost a foot of mud halfway up a good sized hill. It took a tow truck 3 hours to get there and over an hour to pull him out. All the while, the dealership was calling him, asking what happened. The thing was drenched in mud from the spinning tires, and he was fired that night. Mm.
Bruh. What were you doing, man? I
What were
mean,
you thinking?
he pro- it's probably I'm like, was this one of his best jobs or something? And he was just so excited. And he was like, yo, I get to test drive all the cars. I'm he's driving them like it's his. Well, he probably had the seat all the way back,
Mm.
one hand on the wheel, windows cracked, and he was just rolling like it was his.
Yeah, exactly. And he
I
did
wonder how
not
many
make the
miles he
steward
put
of
on
his
that.
season.
Not at all. But he blew through that season. He blew through it. Look, he had one good day and it was a wrap. Went straight to winter.
Straight to winter. Yeah, he's like summer, skip fall, winter, boom.
Boy,
Oh man,
yeah, that's
yeah,
one of those
that's
things,
oof,
bro. That's
oof.
being a good steward over what has been put in front of you. That was
Yeah.
not it.
How much did it cost the company for him to make that mistake? I'm
Who
thinking about
knows,
it.
bro? Who knows? Because look, they said mud and all this other stuff. Who knows what he was driving over and what if he got the stuff scratched or all this other stuff, bro? Like I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's like, what if it got scratched? What if it got dents or all this other stuff? And now the
Yeah.
company, for one, who paid for the tow truck? Probably wasn't him. He just got the job. He ain't even got paid yet.
He's only been
I
there a
don't
couple of
know.
days.
Exactly. So the company probably had to pay for the tow truck. Man, you costing us more money than get your butt out of here.
Then you're worth, yeah. Somebody wrote in the comment
Goodbye.
section. Nah, see, that's what 15.8 talking about. He wasn't as ready as he thought.
He definitely wasn't. That boy wasn't ready.
He thought he was. He's like, let me show my friends this cool little vehicle I have. Like, what makes you think I'm going to test drive it over here? Like
That's
they just
something
said
maybe.
drive it around.
And you know what's crazy? Sometimes we'll do more in somebody else's stuff than we will in our own. If that was his
Mm.
car, he wouldn't even pull it up to their property. You're like, man, look at all that mud, man. Hey, look, y'all gonna have to come see my car at my house because I couldn't, it was too muddy. It's brand new. Matter of fact, you can't eat in here. No drinks
Mm,
allowed. If that was his, he probably stopped by the store. He went to got something to eat. He drinking all this other stuff because it wasn't his stuff.
bro.
He doing all that because it wasn't his, man. You gotta treat it like it's yours.
Mm.
You gotta be a good steward over what is been given, and that was not it.
Imagine this guy with like a chili cheese dog in the front seat and
Just,
cheese
bro.
fries and soda. Just like, look what I got here, guys. Just going crazy. Like, like you don't got nothing. It's yours to just test drive. Oh man, that's crazy. If you got any thoughts about that, go ahead, jump on the show. If you have your own story of somebody you know of or a situation you heard of where somebody got let go ahead and put in the comment section below. These are very unique circumstances, so feel free to call into the show as well. You don't have to have your camera on or anything, but just go ahead and call in and we could share your story as well. But while you do that, I'm going to go back to the comment section here. And I appreciate you, Scott, for saying this. My brothers are staples in the tech community, always giving game and helping people. Well, we definitely, that is the goal for sure, is
Nah,
to help people, man. So I appreciate you saying that and just go ahead and doing that, man. I really do appreciate that. Well, with that being said, y'all, if y'all have no more questions, if there's no more questions at all, we can wrap it up here and call it
yep,
a day. But I just want to say thank y'all for rocking with us as we talk about the seasons coming and seasons going. But yeah, if you have anything, if you have any other questions, if you have some stories, go ahead and hit us up on LinkedIn. We can always hit us up on LinkedIn, and it's if you don't have our LinkedIn's, it should be in either of our channels. You should be able to find your way to get it. So
you definitely
go
will.
ahead, go ahead and get there. If you're already watching us from LinkedIn, go ahead and send us a message asking us, sharing your brown box special story, or even giving us your thoughts. We would love to hear your feedback on the show as we are moving into this new endeavor. So thank you, man. Trey, thank you, bro, for coming through again. Always, like, this has always been fun doing this. And
Yeah, bro.
Typical says, thanks for the live. Definitely been gathering acorns, trying to see what we cook. All right. Appreciate that, Typical. And with that being
Appreciate it.
said, yeah, with that being said, we good. We goody. All right.
Yeah, we're
Take
gonna
care,
see y'all
y'all.
on the other side.
On the
We'll
other
holla.
side. Holla, holla. Later.